Hey, afternoon, everybody. Afternoon on this beastly warm day, July the 30th, 2026. Oh, man, on a Thursday. So this week is winding down, whatever you call a week. I just see it as days to get things done that need to be done. I see these as opportunities. I don't see them necessarily as days anymore. I see them as opportunities because that's what we have. We have opportunities. So I'm running around, handling my business, and I just wanted to come on through and talk to you about the perils of what we face and the perils of what we are going through. And they're not good, regardless of what anyone says. We have a lot of people boasting and bragging about, how well they have things going in their life. And I know that that's not true at all. But, they have to keep up the performance and they have to keep up the appearances. And they're doing everything to deceive us and have us believe that everything is, peaches and cream. You know what I mean? Which sounds good right now, by the way. On this toasty day, because over here, as I said, they're doing a lot of construction and they're doing a lot of paving and they're doing a lot of this and that and the other to the roadways, and it's just causing more heat because of the type of material they're using. They're using material that is not going to sustain and solve the problem. It's just going to give these companies opportunities just to rinse and repeat. They fix one road, you go over to the next road, it's cracking, you need to fix that. You go over to the next road, it's cracking. It's just a spinning that's been going on for decades. You would think that would be the end of it once they lay the pavement down. That's not true at all. A lot of it has to do with the size of our population just constantly being squeezed out, constantly, causing destruction to the infrastructure. And so that's why the water pipes are suspiciously erupting, bursting, and whatever is happening with the water pipes underneath the roadways. If you think clearly and effectively, the math doesn't add up with that. Okay? Yes, we have an extremely, extremely volatile, sensitive infrastructure, but there is more than meets the eye. There's more going on underneath the surface than what's being told. Anyway, so I just want to come on through and say to you, you still have work to do. You still need to keep moving forward because, this spinning that we're on is not going to stop anytime soon. So it's similar to having a piece of rock roll down a mountain, and eventually before the rock hits the ground, it's turned into a boulder. That's just exactly how things are going here. There's just a lot of pieces that have been falling for decades upon decades upon decades. Now, once they're reaching the surface, they're going to be next to impossible to manage. So, just do the best you can. Understand that, there's just only so much one person can do. There's only so much 1 billion people can do. If you consider that based on the population of almost 10 billion people. What can 1 billion people do with a population that's almost 10 billion? You do the math. You figure it out. But you are still individually responsible and accountable for your behaviors and actions. So despite the fact that we want to throw our hands up and we cannot, we need to keep moving forward. Enjoy the process. Enjoy what you've accomplished, and don't be so hard on yourself when you know that you've done the best that you can. You've done, you were responsible, accountable. You were righteous. You did all the right things. Like with me, I did all the right things accordingly to what I was told were the right things, which turned out to be traps. Like the credit score was a trap. Credit cards were a trap. The illusion of what money means, the definition of money, all of those things were traps, they were manipulation, they were indoctrination, and a lot of it was fraud. Plain and simple fraud. So now you just have to accept that, if not necessarily accept it, but adapt to it. Ask yourself, okay, how can I still persevere and manage under these circumstances? And you'll be surprised, especially if you've developed yourself and you were righteous all along. You'll be surprised what your consciousness will impulse you and the kind of ideas you'll receive. All right, I'm sweating like a pig, but I'm going to stop right now. Sending peace and love all over the stars and moon and mountains. At the end of the day, it's about universal love. Share it.